Yo, what up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to Xbox Ultimate Podcast, episode number 124. Yeah, sorry for the late start today, everybody. Crazy day today, crazy day. But got here 5 minutes after showtime. Got home 5 minutes after showtime. So, but we're here ready to be live. Thanks to the panel for being here. Psycho's a little under the weather, so he's not joining us today. But shout out to Psycho. Hope you start feeling better. Shout out to the chat for hanging out with us, ready for the show to start. Almost an hour late, 45 minutes later than usual. So you guys are awesome as always. Appreciate you, all the support and just being here. You rock. But let's get started into these familiar faces. The one and only Felix the cat himself, Fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Felix? What's up, Felix, aka Fuzzy? Whatever you want to say.
What's up, everyone? Glad to be here with you guys, man. Just looking forward to these topics and definitely enjoying the heck out of Undisputed. You know, they really need to bring Fight Night back.
Yeah.
EA, I hope you're watching.
Yeah, it kind of looks like. I was looking at your clips. It looks like a poor man's Fight Night a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs some work still, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I think the biggest thing now, I know the online community was complaining about like those that were quitting, so they the dev went and patched it so you don't get a loss, you know, if the other person leaves early type of deal. So they got that kind of fixed. So the rage quitters are going to now get the losses instead of like the other way around. But graphically, it looks better than what those compressed clips are showing.
Yeah.
Some of the ringside stuff, like I keep on picking the gym ones as opposed to like the real fight night type, arenas and stuff. But overall, 50 boxers. I'm hoping they add a ton more. I know it's probably going to be like DLC or microtransactions for certain fighters just because of the amount that they're going to want, but still a ton of fun. Still getting used to some of the mechanics. The blocking I got to get a little bit better at, but starting to get used to the controls a bit more, and it's a ton of fun right now.
Yeah. Right on, man. And the one thing I noticed was like it seemed like the animations are a little like herky jerky, right? Like
Yeah,
a little
stiff,
stiff, but like that. I mean, I know it's a small team, but like that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or anything. I do want Fight Night to come back though, man, because it was so good. I mean, me and Pong were talking about that a little bit, and he was saying, "I hope this."
But I gotta say, hey, listen, listen, Undisputed devs, if you're watching this right now, go with the punch out / ready to rumble physics that Fuzzy was showing off, where the guy flies as you're hitting him with a knockout. Keep that in there. Just roll with that. Accentuate that part of it, because I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Have one comedic part of it, because I thought that was awesome. So that was awesome.
But how you doing, Pong? Doing all right?
I'm fine. It's Friday night. We're late. I want to get into a game of Age before I go to bed tonight, so we gotta get down to business. But no, this is it's been awesome. Week for news, and of course Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition dropping has been fantastic. We've been killing it. I've been playing it single player as well. So yeah, it's been freaking amazing, man. So I'm excited. We got a lot going on tonight. I hope everybody in the chat. Hey, quick shout out to Maddie Burns. Maddie, great to have you in the chat, sir. I know you're always lurking. But great to see you in there, brother.
So. Yeah, he got like that fucking swollen ass hand, man. I saw that picture. And, shout out to Matt, dude. Like,
shout out to Maddie Burns.
I'm glad your hand is okay after seeing that, because I mean, you had an animal in there or something. It's stuck under your skin. That was crazy. But thanks for everybody for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and real quick too, RoboQuest. A lot of people did not see that dropping into Game Pass this week. RoboQuest is in game preview right now. I went through the tutorial part of it. If any guys and gals out there like Gunfire Reborn, first person roguelike shooter, try out RoboQuest. Obviously still in preview. It plays faster than Gunfire Reborn, but there's something there. It's a cool little game, so check it out. They got some work to do on it a little bit here and there, But obviously, again, game preview. It's in Game Pass. Check it out. Cool little game. So I want to give that thing a shout out real quick too as well. But go download Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Everybody, try it. RTS,
Tony was saying RoboQuest is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, if you're into Gunfire Reborn style, go check that out.
I haven't tried out Gunfire Reborn yet.
It's so awesome, dude. PTK loves it too. It's really
I keep meaning to. It's just like keep playing the games that I like. I've been playing. It's like I want to play so many different things. Shout out to Nix. Also, Nix says he wants this show to run into living split screen.
That's not going to happen, sir.
No,
that's not going to happen.
No, okay.
Not pulling an all-nighter for Xbox Ultimate. That's all I got to say.
Hey, what are you trying to say about Xbox Ultimate, Pong? Huh? It's not important enough to run 8 hours or 9 hours or 12 hours, almost 11 hours.
If we had something really cool to do, absolutely. I'm down.
We could. Hey, let's just have an 11-hour
Age of Empires
stream. Let's go.
But I'm still going to need some sleep.
Yeah,
okay?
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Shout out to Jasper. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I was playing for Spoken Day, still cleaning up those collectibles. That's what I've been up to. Almost done, maybe another hour or two, and then got all the achievements for that game. So
just capping. You're just capping. The game's terrible. How can you play it, Jasper?
I don't know. Guess I just like bad stuff.
Did you say you're playing for Spoken again?
No, I said I'm gonna.
What did you
Where
say?
the hell is
I was trying to look at my I thought Pong was talking about Forspoken because you're like the one person that liked it.
Yeah, because that's what Jasper said he was playing.
Right.
He hadn't
getting all the collectibles yet.
Yeah, so you're playing it again? Like you playing through? Do you have to do a whole nother run through, or like?
No, it's once you finish the game, it's just open world.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you acting like I'm crazy. You asking.
Because no one said that.
No, because nobody said he was playing through it again. He was just getting the collectibles.
I thought like once you beat it, like it was over and you'd have to like start over again. I didn't know it was like an ongoing game.
Well, that would have been the more appropriate question. So, Jasper, do you have to play through Forspoken again to get all the collectibles?
No, you beat it and it just ends where the game ends and you continue. Like most other open world games.
I apologize for the phrasing of my question. Okay.
You sound better tonight though, Mav. Are you doing coughing?
I think so.
PM, you were dying a couple times.
Dude, like it just hits me and comes and goes. Like I'm still hacking up stuff a little bit, but like overall, like it's much better today.
Good.
Still having like body aches and stuff though. I think we had COVID. I just didn't ever like test myself for it, but I was stuck at home anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, we got lots of stuff to talk about. Quite a bit of stuff actually. But we'll run through things pretty quickly because we are getting a late start tonight, everybody. Again, apologize for that, and thank you all for being patient. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to talk about with this show is just like
Crossfire X.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Are you playing that again, Jasper?
I downloaded it to play through the campaign finally because I didn't get a chance to campaign it. So I'm actually going to check out the campaign because I want to see how bad it is. So I actually did download it.
Is that one of the ones that's getting shut down?
Yeah, it's going to be gone.
So there's that's one of the things I did want to talk about a little bit.
Oh, you didn't know Crossfire X came out today and they said they're going to shut down? Sorry.
I haven't been
I thought you saw it.
Yeah,
I thought you totally had seen it. That's why you were just
I was actually going to talk about some of these other games, the service games. I didn't know Crossfire X was in the list.
It's over with. It's over with.
Well, good riddance. Sorry. But yeah, it seems like there's like a lot of these live service games all of a sudden just getting the axe, all at once. You had all those mobile versions of games. You had all these different things.
New fiscal year, man.
Yeah.
New fiscal year.
Is that what it is? Because like Knockout City was the one I know about.
But what's weird about them though is last year they pulled out of EA because they didn't like the deal that EA gave them, whatever. So they were like, we're going to go independent with it. So I think they probably just saw that it's not worth it to keep up the servers for them. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so Knockout City, Crossfire X, there's Apex Mobile, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Was it the Battlefield Mobile?
Yep.
So there's a lot of EA
Rumbleverse.
stuff. Rumbleverse. And then Knockout City isn't EA anymore, but that's still getting cut.
Yep.
Crossfire X.
Yep. Rumbleverse.
Yeah, a Rumbleverse, which was isn't that like brand new from that studio that made
Iron
Yes.
Galaxy.
yeah, that's
Iron Galaxy,
the guys that
yeah,
made Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. Yep.
Wow. I mean,
Yep.
what I wanted to ask is this a sign that potentially these companies are going to start swinging for the next Fortnite, right? Because
No.
we've had so many attempts now from all these companies to make the next free to play thing, right? And at some point, it seems like these are obviously financial failures for them. Otherwise, it'd be ongoing still. Is this something that maybe they're going to learn from, or is this going to be just trying the next thing and then the next thing? Because it's a lot of cancellations at once, and maybe if anything from EA, maybe it would change their minds. I don't know. Or do y'all think maybe even the next Battlefield will be free to play? Like they're going to double down on it.
I'm kind of worried about Ubisoft right now with Division because they delayed their whole seasonal update.
Really?
And they delayed their ongoing.
That's because there's one guy working on it. So
yeah.
Well,
what do you guys expect
and he
from
got
me?
sick, so it's over with.
I'm just one man. I'm sorry, I can't keep up with your demands. Yeah, the Vision stuff, like they formed that new team, right? That splintered off, but then they just quickly assigned most of them to other things, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I feel like our hoorah of Division 2 like caused them to like hire a bunch of people to do this, and then,
then 30 more people bought the game. It's like, oh, it's coming back up.
Yeah, then we stopped playing it. They're like, hey, fuck, well, we lost the Fun Speculation crew. We lost those guys. It's over. It's over with. But we still got Fuzzy, But all he does is play and then post about what's wrong with our fucking game on Twitter. So like, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, it's weird though. So y'all don't think this is a sign that they're gonna stop doing these things at all?
Hopefully not. Like, I think the big problem now is that these live service games have to find a way to hook people in a way that works for them and not necessarily copying what Fortnite has done or what I keep on wanting to call it soccer cars. Rocket League has done
soccer cars. that's the sequel.
That would have been what Atari named it back in the 2600 days.
That'll be
about then.
That'll be Ubisoft's version of come out.
Yeah. Like they already lost the one that they had where it was like a Fortnite copy where it was like Hyperscape or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was. That one didn't seem to last. Like they I think killed that twice.
That
almost.
lasted only like a month, like before it was like dead, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was an Apex copy more than anything. Ty Guy Travis from IGN and Seasoned Gaming, he had a good thread today about it. Because he had been going back and forth with a couple people on it because there's a bunch of people out there saying, "Oh, games as a service is dead. This is the sign, everything's going away." He had a great thread, and he just pointed out that no, it's not going away because there's still a lot of success stories out there, and ROI on those things, if you do get it right, is huge.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost these companies a ton to jump into it because, again, these aren't, sure, they're putting money into it, but it's not like a full AAA budget or anything close to it. So he said, no, companies are going to continue to try. What this says, though, is that the competition is fierce, right? And that you do have to find the right mix to make it work. It's not easy. You can't just slap anything down and a bunch of people are going to come play it for a long time. So that's not going to happen. So, I got to agree, and again, I'm paraphrasing some of his points and stuff and adding some of mine in there, but I got to agree with a lot of that I think that these companies will continue to try because, again, if all it takes is one, and if you get one right, you're basically funding you're funding a bunch of your AAA projects down the road. So, these companies are going to continue. Maybe some of them will rethink how they go about doing it. Maybe Ubisoft might pull back.
Maybe more selective.
More selective on what they put out there. But like Sony is still stating 12 games as a service by 2025. So, yeah, we're still going to continue to see them. And again, I'm a fan of the concept. I'm not one of those people that hate games as a service because, again, I get to try it, get to determine how much time and how much money I'm going to spend, but it costs me nothing to get into the game, and I like that aspect of it. But
if it's done right, for sure, I'm with you on that. I don't mind it. I do think that some of these companies have gone too much with trying to catch that one thing, and like they put like 80% of their dev teams on like trying to like find out some way to like Ubisoft is what I'm talking about right now, obviously, right? But there's companies like Microsoft is big in games as service and live service games, right? But they come out with these games that there's plenty of content in, and then they support them over long periods of time, right? So like
except for Halo Infinite,
except for you have your failures in there as well, right? You don't always hit the jackpot.
I couldn't help it.
The one that they couldn't fuck up is the one that they fucked up, right? But there's still hope because of the model that maybe it can come back with a multiplayer side at least, right? But like, Sea of Thieves is a good example. Age of Empires is a good example as well, right?
It kind of like grew into games as a service more than like it wasn't like it was probably planned that way, but like early on, Sea of Thieves was really rough. Like,
it failed.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, they really came back around.
So. Yeah, they gave it a second chance. Like they talked about closing it down, and they gave it.
But why? Because they hit the content. That like they hit like monthly updates for a long time, right? That were pretty substantial, and the game just every month kept getting better and better and better and better. Then they started these bigger expansions and bigger content, and guess what? The player base grew instead of shrink. And it still is, I think, it's still doing well. Minecraft is another obvious example. Grounded. And I think Forza Motorsport maybe that. Forza Horizon kind of is, you pay for it, but it gets updated over time and supported for a long period of time as well.
A lot of these, it seems like if they try to force it as a service, it doesn't work. So it's like it almost has to be like they have to capture some sort of magic, and then like
it's got to at the end of the day be a good game first, right? Which is where I think a lot of them miss the mark, because for them it's like for a lot of the developers or publishers out there, it's like let's try and come up with an idea of monetization and make a game around that, right?
Ubisoft. We just talked about this with Ubisoft, right? That's their problem. Is they go to every discussion with the developers. How are you going to monetize this?
Yeah, we can't make that
think about
game.
Make the game first.
And make the game first, and then you can figure out there's ways to make money off of different games. You know what I mean? Even if it's like single player stuff.
Right.
But games like Elden Ring and other games out there have shown, even like Hi-Fi Rush now is a pretty surprise hit sales wise, or so like even games like that have shown like you can still have a single player experience. If it's really good, it's gonna sell. Like I feel like quality and creativity should still be at the forefront of the decisions on what's made, as opposed to monetization. And hopefully it's a learning experience, at least. I feel like a lot of the ones that got canceled there's still like a second wave of attempts to catch that Fortnite magic or whatever. Apex Apex was successful for a long time. Fortnite was successful, and you have some, PUBG was successful for a long time, and other games. But like, there's some like so many attempts out there that are failures, right? And it's interesting to see like what's going to happen with the decisions that they make. I just hope that they stop trying to force everything into the model. Right.
Yes.
So we'll see.
You don't need that.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Speaking of something I wanted to get into, I've been thinking about this a lot because, this news from 343 came out more from Schreier, confirming the stuff that he had tried to deny before, which was weird. I talked about this with Pong last night, guys, but I don't know if y'all caught that either. Y'all notice like Schreier put out this report, which was like pretty much the same report of the person that he tried to say was false like a couple weeks ago. You remember that? I mean, he's like, this was false. And then yesterday, his report was pretty much like the same things, right? Did y'all find that interesting? He's like trying to gatekeep like what he can. If it's 343 news, he's the only one that's allowed to talk about it, right? Like
only he can confirm it or verify it.
Who knows what's the long run for 343? This could be a good thing. We talked about it a lot last night with Pong and I. But what I wanted to get into here is the other aspect of this, right? Because the other aspect of this report was that certain affinity and Tatanka could have potentially evolve into something more, right? And they're the test bed for UB5 now with Halo. Okay. Now we know Certain Affinity is big time with multiplayer games and has been a support studio for many multiplayer franchises out there, including games like Call of Duty, Doom, and Halo, right? Big time franchises. Also, there's rumors of this Project Suerte. Who knows where that stands now? Maybe it's pulled back because of the reinforcement back into Halo. For Certain Affinity, and they also have some other projects that they're supposed to be working on by themselves. But I was thinking about this because, man, I feel like it would be a disaster if somebody else came in and acquired Certain Affinity for Microsoft.
Yeah. Don't you jinx it. Don't put
no,
that
I'm just saying, like, listen up here. I've said for a while now, like, when people ask who's the most important studio for Xbox to acquire, 100%. I say Certain Affinity. You gotta like mind fuck them to say, hey, look, we want to be acquired all of a sudden, because let's say somebody comes in like I think Tencent may already be invested somewhat, or who knows who else may have investments with them, right? But somebody comes in with a big enough check, right? Or let's say Sony like wants to get some multiplayer stuff really sorted out, and they go after a team like Certain Affinity, because that would be a big get for them to pair with Bungie. Right? I mean, that they used to work together. Max Holderman comes from Bungie originally. You know what I mean? So like I feel like it would be almost disastrous for Microsoft if they lost the ability to work with Certain Affinity on their projects. Because ABK acquisition, Call of Duty, you have id, you have Doom, and you got Halo, right? So I don't know. I feel like they got to find a way to make this happen before they get acquired by somebody else.
Mm-hmm. That's without question.
I'm not going to disagree. I just Microsoft's luck. It'll somebody will beat them to it. Hopefully it's Embracer and maybe they flip it for double the price. I mean, they're going to have that 600 million in their pocket right now. So
I would say it would hurt Microsoft if they don't get Activision. Because if they get Activision, then they'll have all the Call of Duty studios, which can make some decent shooters. But
but Certain Affinity supports on those studios.
Yeah, but they don't help them on the main. Like they do like a couple maps and like a couple modes every now and then. But they don't make the whole fucking game.
But that's where that's where people are having problems these days, Jasper. With the lack of talent is support studios, right? Ubisoft is the only one that is insulated. That's why they're so god awful big right now, is because they have so many. They have their own internal support studios. Everybody's looking for those specialized support studios to help on games now. Especially the multiplayer side of things, you got to lock up Certain Affinity. You have to.
Well, especially now, like this Tatanka thing is like they're resting a lot of their hopes with Halo with this, right? Imagine somebody comes in and gets them, and it's like they can't continue support on whatever that is in the future.
There's probably a contract there.
There's probably a contract there.
Yeah, but how many times have we said that and seen that, and then like like all of a sudden, well, yeah, we put out the game, but now we're working on this other project.
Support,
Well, we had talked about this so much when we talked about what acquisitions needed to happen right afterwards. And Certain Affinity was at the top of all or most of our lists, right? And this was because of the ABK deal going through. We were assuming ABK was going through, and obviously Certain Affinity needed to come in with the Call of Duty support. But now, Mav, you're absolutely correct with this new information that they are now the ones that are going to kind of be the testers on UE5 for Halo, and that this battle royale might be turning into something bigger for sure. I mean, they should have something in play. Screw the ABK deal. At this point, what's going to happen is going to happen. A deal like Certain Affinity isn't going to cost you one way or the other in the ABK deal. Go just announce this, get it done behind the scenes and announce it.
Yeah, I feel like you got to overpay for those guys at this point.
You got.
I
guess they're a private company, so like, do you have to announce that like right away?
No, you don't have to. It's not the same as a publicly traded company.
So like, also with the decline of 343 and staff, right? Like in the amount of people that are working on the game, that also adds more value to Certain Affinity because they have experience on Halo. just as much as anybody out there, right?
Right.
They have as much as 343. They have as much as Bungie at this point. I mean, like Max Holberman and the team at Certain Affinity were formed from Bungie originally,
Correct.
right? Like they left. Max Holberman left Bungie. He formed Certain Affinity, took some talent from there, and grew also. Became a support studio for Halo back then. Supported games like Halo. I forget what's the first one they supported on. It could have been even Halo.
Was it
3? I think.
I think it was. They did the anniversary map DLC for Reach. I know that.
They could have been in as soon as Reach or 3. I don't know. You know. But they've been involved since the 360 days, right? So you talk about them, and then they went on to, you know, became a target for other big studios to, hey, we see your multiplayer experts. They like Ed hired them to do, or Bethesda hired, if Ed was part of Bethesda back then, I think so. I don't remember, but they had hired them to make the multiplayer for Doom, right? Like different aspects like this, like they have so many ties with these properties. You know what I mean? So,
what if they nail it, Mav? What if they nail it and the feeling with the UE5 and a Halo game from them is good, right?
Yeah. Well, if anybody understands how a multiplayer, like good core gameplay balance feels with Halo, it's Certain Affinity.
That's what I'm saying. And what if they nail it and you haven't locked them down? Like you're going to need them to help other teams that might come in and do Halo stuff in UE5 to maybe help them figure out how to make sure that they get that feeling that we talked about last night down, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes even more important. So
yeah. Out of all the third-party studios out there, they're so entrenched with Microsoft now, like especially with Halo now and all these things. Like I just imagine the world like Jasper and Fuzzy, like tomorrow an announcement comes in, Sony has acquired Certain Affinity. Right? I mean, it's possible, you know. Again, like I said, Max Holberman has Bungie ties originally as well. Like, how bad would that be for Xbox, Fuzz?
It would be so bad to the point where somebody's head needs to roll over at Microsoft at that point. Like, there's a couple ways they could probably seal the deal without having it to be a big deal. Like in the sense that the ABK deal is going to probably go through. We know that ABK, or at least Blizzard, had acquired a support studio during this whole, acquisition stuff. If they don't have somebody over at Blizzard say, hey, go ahead and start the paperwork to go ahead and acquire Certain Affinity before we acquire you, so at least that's locked down, so that way it doesn't go to Bungie or somewhere else. That's an easier approach that they could do. If Microsoft is that afraid that they can't touch anything or sign any paperwork, private or public, then let ABK do it, because they've already acquired somebody. So that to me would make the most sense, to kind of put that to rest, lock it down, and make sure that Bungie or Sony themselves don't swoop in. Because if you look at like the whole what do you call them, like Crystal Dynamics deal or the Eidos Montreal, it's like you have to be wondering, like, unless they're going to sell the studio to Microsoft, which it looks like, I guess eventually everything is going to probably go to Amazon. It's such a missed opportunity, especially when you have a contract saying that these guys have to help you with this game, but now the rumor is that Tomb Raider will probably release before Perfect Dark, which I guess had a later start. I don't know. It hopefully Microsoft learned their lesson after the whole what was that? The
Initiative,
the Crackdown 3.
Oh, Crackdown 3. Oh,
yeah, and the Initiative stuff, but Crackdown 3 was like the worst one because they were in development hell. Then they finally got a hold of this whole destructible environment stuff, only to let those guys slip through their fingers at the last minute. And whoever bought it, they didn't take them to court or take them to task on having some sort of contract, something that they could at least have that locked down or finished up or whatever. No, they had to start from scratch again. It was like somebody should have lost their job on that. Like, honestly, there's no reason why you spend 7 years to develop something, and then the last month it's like, oh, they got acquired and we can't use that tech anymore. What? Are you serious? So yeah, I fingers crossed somebody over at ABK has already got some paperwork going, or maybe Microsoft is bold enough to have some paperwork going, and they've convinced the people at Certain Infinity, anybody that knocks at the door, even if it's a bigger check, we'll make a bigger check than that kind of thing, to hopefully prevent them from slipping through their fingers at the last minute.
Yeah,
Killer Instinct and Iron Galaxy.
Yeah,
Iron Galaxy was another one that slipped through.
Microsoft has had a lot of those.
Hopefully. Yes, they have. And they're in a different position now. And again, I don't care about the ABK deal. It's not going to affect it one way or another, a deal of this size. It's not. It's a support studio at the end of the day. But like you said, Fuzzy, if they are scared, if the attorneys are like, no, then yeah, you got to find a workaround. You got to have something. You got to have at least a handshake and a wink underneath the table. Something.
Yeah, I think it would be a big misstep. It'd feel like another Crystal Dynamics situation, right?
I think it would only hurt Halo, but Halo's already hurting. So like, how much more can that?
Well, that would be worse for Halo, which I don't want. That's what I'm saying. Like Certain Affinity and 343 together still gives me like some hope, right, for Halo in the future, right? If you lose like Certain Affinity, also it just like takes one good team away from you that is also familiar with the franchise, dating back to the origins of the franchise with Max Oberman as well. So like, I just want them to make that happen. That's why I'm putting it out there. In case any Xbox execs are listening, right? Don't let somebody come in and acquire, Certain Affinity. They probably don't want to be acquired. Otherwise, they probably would have already at this point by Microsoft. You know what I mean? But like, money talks, baby. You know what I mean? It's like money talks. Private company.
The offer you can't confuse or can't refuse.
Can't confuse. I'm gonna make you a very easy to understand offer. You can't confuse this one. This offer is so easy to understand.
It's a straight $100 million. No 99. No 98.
We
100.
give you money. We own you. We give you lots of money. So simple. Can't confuse it. Yeah, I would love to see if that would be some excitement for the future of Halo 2 if that it was announced.
Yeah,
I would believe, right?
Yeah, I think the BR they're working on, it all depends on how tight it is in with Infinite. If it's like really connected where you can't separate it, it's going to be good for Infinite, but then that game has to take off the BR. If it doesn't take off, then they're just going to probably.
I feel like at this point it's going to be separate because it's different engines and everything, and like I feel like they're calling Infinite a wash. They're just going to support the multiplayer aspects of it to live up to somewhat of their promise. But
if you play as Spartans in that, people are going to bitch that you can't carry over your Infinite skins that you just wasted.
Well, unless Certain Affinity does a badass job actually having a lot of content and a lot of skins, because how many fucking skins do we really even have in Infinite at this point? You know what I mean? It's like, well, we know what to expect with Infinite, at least going forward for the most part. And I feel like this Certain Affinity game, whenever it hits, will be something fresh and brand new, right? Maybe the skins can't carry over. Maybe they can port them from Slipspace to Unreal, right? Maybe that's a possibility. That's something they've done in the past with the Master Chief Collection, because like the UI was Unreal, but the game was
they made all the Halo Reach armor in Unreal.
Yeah, so it's done. It's possible. Maybe that's where Pierre Heinz, because he has experience with that stuff as well, can come in and help. Going to be interesting to find out what, regardless. Moving on, besides that discussion though, is there's more FTC, ABK, EC stuff out there right now. It seems like third time's a charm. Sony's trying to get that lawsuit pushed back again from Microsoft. Microsoft has subpoenaed Sony for all their documents. And what was interesting this time, like if this rumor's true, we kind of got some insight into everything that Microsoft is asking for.
Payback's a bitch, everybody. Payback is a bitch. They are coming for Sony.
Which was like pretty extreme. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Now I think some of Sony's claims, as they're just trying to complain as well to like make it seem worse than it is, right? Because they're like, this is ridiculous. we shouldn't have to show you this. It's going to cost us $2 million to produce these documents.
Yes.
How can it cost $2 million to produce documents?
Because they have to go through each one. The attorneys will have to approve each document.
So attorney fees and stuff.
I'm sure they would have.
They're
I'm
getting
sure they
premium
could
ink.
redact. They would have to redact certain information.
This is going to take us 18 years.
Yeah, they said many weeks is what they said.
Oh, many weeks. Ooh, this will take us many weeks. You know. Well, guess what? They may not have an opportunity to look through them very thoroughly.
No.
Because the judges are going to have to decide. Now, the judges did grant them an extension, but not the full extension that they had asked for. They had asked for the 15th, and it seems that they were granted the 10th, according to the rumors, right?
7 days, I think they said.
And the FTC has also subpoenaed documents from them as well, which they have to respond to by the 15th.
And so with all of this, you know, I wonder what the FTC subpoena for documents looks like, if it kind of pairs in line with Microsoft. You know?
Just to give the chat an idea, that Microsoft wants stuff that goes back to 2012, supposedly. So
yeah, which makes sense for last generation. That's being considered with the Call of Duty thing, right? Like,
correct.
So that, you know, is this a little bit of like Sony, like just realizing that maybe they done fucked up here, possibly?
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, that kind of situation.
The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
They put a bullseye on themselves. I mean, this is, again, I love corporate on corporate violence. This doesn't get any better than this right now. This is popcorn time, folks.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're going to be able to see. We don't know what's going to come out. But I mean, again, witnesses have already been listed, and Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer are both listed as witnesses that will be called to testify. So shit's, again, we should never be surprised in this deal what's happening, but because we never get to see this stuff and we never hear about this stuff, this one is special, and I love this, man. This is great stuff, man. I can't wait to see if we get actual information out of this. It's gonna be fun.
So apparently also the EC has released their statement of objections as well at this point now.
Yeah, I saw somebody's funny tweet about that too, man. Somebody said it was forwarded from by Jim Ryan to Xbox.
That's funny. Straight from Jim Ryan's desk at the EC headquarters. I feel like this is just like it was with the CMA. You know, this is a protocol thing. It's, you know, just we're at the point, we talked about this a couple of weeks back when we were getting into this, right? That this next few months, there's not going to be a lot of like public statements, right? Instead, there's going to be a lot more of the nitty gritty of actually everything up to like a month ago was like all for show, right? It's all grandstanding, all posturing, all making a big case one way or another. And then now we're in the meat and potatoes of the negotiations, right? And the EC, the CMA, FTC, and all these things are going about their regular checkpoints, I'll call them, right? And this is like one of the final ones up until they have to make a final decision, right? We're at the point now where they've actually said, okay, well, here's the issues we see with it, right? Here's the issues. We're confirming these are our issues, and those are presented, right, to Microsoft. And now Microsoft can officially offer the remedies, the concessions, whatever, to try and satisfy those objections. That's at least how I understand it from this point, which is what was always going to happen as well. And I don't think any of us expected the EU, CMA, or the FTC to just grant this, go, oh, no concessions, you're free to go, right? Not like the countries out there with regulator bodies that have common sense and are operating under common sense. This is more operating under political reasons and stuff like that, right? So with all that being said, this is the point where we're at right now. And this is going to be probably in about a month or two, I think, of this. And then we'll see what happens there. And then if shit goes sideways, then I think that's when we'll know if Microsoft will back out or not. If the EC and the CMA objections get resolved between now and like that April something deadline, at that point, then I think Microsoft and the FCC have until June something to work something out before it actually goes to trial or something like that.
No,
or
August is the court
right?
date, but the deal would have to be renegotiated with Activision
In June.
Blizzard if it goes past, into like July.
Okay, so right. And I think Microsoft told the FTC recently that they would wait until May to close the deal. Because I guess they won't. They said they won't close until May if they close without FTC approval.
Because if the EC and the CMA both are okay with the remedies, and Microsoft said after that's why they wanted all the objections from both of them before they give them. So they're going to give them to both of them. If they both accept those remedies and sign off on this deal, Microsoft's going to turn around and give the FTC one chance to accept that same set of remedies, right? That's what they're going to do. If the FTC says no, then a lot of people expect, and myself included, and again, I'm no legal expert, but just reading between lines, that's when Microsoft will close over the top of the FTC and force it into federal court, because Microsoft will be feeling very confident at that point.
Yeah,
that a federal.
I think anybody would feel very confident going against the FTC in federal court right now, because like you have a pretty good winning percentage,
right?
You know?
It's 0-6 for the FTC right now.
It's
so
like
they would close over the top and then make the FTC make their next chess move, which would have to be, if they're going to go block it, get an injunction, they would have to go to federal court.
Yeah, it's like the FTC is the Cleveland Browns. You want to have that fight. You know what I mean? It's like we're not really worried about it if it actually we get to have an official officiated meeting here. But if you just get to say you win, then you win, right? That if there's actually a judge here that actually has to oversee this thing, they're probably going to lose, right? So I find it very interesting where it's at right now. I don't see anything still that has changed whatsoever. All that we see coming out from these things is the meat and potatoes of the nitty gritty, right? The dirtiness of this thing now, especially with the lawyers, right? That's the interesting thing is the lawyer stuff, because these guys are like getting paid the big bucks to fight this fight, and they're coming after Sony, which is very interesting. I know NVIDIA's gotten involved with this somehow as well, right? They've made it official that they're, part of this challenge, I guess, to Microsoft with the cloud aspect.
Payback.
But I think that overall, time will tell what's going to happen. I still have high confidence this is going to close, but anything could happen. The thing is, like, if it doesn't, oh well. I think it would be bad for Xbox. It'd be bad for Microsoft. I think that some shit will hit the fan internally there. I don't know exactly how bad that would be. As far as gamers are concerned, as far as me, like, I'm okay either way. I would hope they would turn
Activision Blizzard, though.
It would be very bad. I would just hope Xbox would turn around and use, I would hope the Xbox would turn around and use that investment with something else at that point, instead of just sending it to other, branches of Microsoft, and Xbox getting nothing, right?
Right.
Because it's slim pickings out there now for the big publishers. Like, it's becoming what's actually people would want to see. Like Ubisoft, they're like unacquirable at this point because they're just a shit show. Nobody wants to take on that circus, right? It's like they're a circus that's on fire, right? You want to go acquire the tent that's on fire with all the clowns inside? No, you probably don't want to stay away from that one, right? So Ubisoft, no. I feel like WB Discovery would still be interesting, right? But it doesn't seem like it's likely,
No.
EA, they want too much control, probably.
And EA's in a really good spot again now.
Yeah.
They're coming back really healthy. So I don't think they want to be.
It's interesting without that. I don't see another big publisher getting
Unless
acquired.
They go east. Unless they go
have
east.
to go out of North America.
East.
Yeah, they could go east and try it again.
Yeah, which I think they probably would eventually, but I don't know if they would have the appetite for it right now with the way the everything
Might not.
is.
They might wait until hopefully election season and maybe get a new FTC in there and restrictions get laxed, or at least get an FTC that's just going to follow the law, and then maybe they would try again at that point. So come back around.
Right on.
But we might see a bunch of smaller deals.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go through. So some of those studios out there, we talked about again, certain Infinity IO, all those IOI, all those types of studios maybe would come into play right out the gates.
For sure. All right, guys. Let's see here. Next up, what else was there? I know I saw something else here.
Nothing. Time for Age of Empires 2.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
know.
Outros. This is great.
Sorry for being like, I literally sat down like 5 minutes before we're supposed to do the show, and so I'm trying to get recap over all the stuff that kind of happened. But yeah, main topic. Yeah. So this is, I want to kind of roll through on this year so far that we've had overall for Xbox. I mean, it feels, for me at least, that it's like obliterated 2022 already. I mean, just between Hi-Fi Rush and Age of Empires Definitive Edition, like between first party stuff for Xbox.
Well, yeah, because there was no first party.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. we're it's still, but the thing is, it just hit February. I mean, both those games were January games, right? So in the month of January, they already had 2 bigger first party releases than they did the entire year last year, and there's more yet to come, But so I think it's off to a really good start. Like Age 2 scoring really well. People are really liking it as well. People were praising the controls, which this could have gone the other way, right? Age 2 could have come out. It could be like, well, everybody could have said, what a shitty port. Nobody's going to play this thing. Like the controls are horrible, blah, 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 blah. But no, it's fantastic. What everybody said couldn't be done was absolutely achieved to the actually exceeding my most optimistic expectations, which I was going to be more content even with more basic controls, but they just nailed them, right? Such a good experience. I praise my people that actually don't even play RTS games on Twitter and stuff, right? So Age 2 hit. I don't know how popular it's going to be, right? But still, it's another quality title that's in the Game Pass platform. It's a day one launch here on console, because this is the first time it's coming to Xbox consoles with the Age 2 Definitive Edition as well into Game Pass. So you hit with that. It scores really well. I think it's 87 something as well. And then you also have Hi-Fi Rush, which is like premium quality tier smash hit beyond
90.
just Xbox. Yeah,
90.
And that's on Meta. Is a 90 now?
Open credit. It's still an 89 on Meta right now because a PC Gamer gave it a 69. Jesus Christ.
Who the fuck was? Who was that? Who reviewed it at PC Gamer?
I don't remember who it was, but somebody at PC Gamer.
Somebody,
and the whole beginning of the article is praising the game like nonstop.
One of those reviews.
And then goes at the end, and then towards the end of the article is like, but as I played it longer and the hours went by, it just lost its magic. Like it was one of those. And it's like, but this is still a great entry point for a future franchise, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I don't think your entire first half of your article that was praising it deserves a 69. Like I could see, like if you came in at like an 80, maybe.
That sounds like a Jasper review or something.
Yeah, right. But actually, by the end, I didn't like it, so I'm giving it a 69.
Yeah.
Even though it does all this
call
stuff
out points that I would not like about the game. But
right,
yeah.
So, but yeah, 89 on Metacritic, 90 on OpenCritic. So, yeah.
It's what you're describing is like describing like a marriage or something of like a great relationship. Oh, the magic just died.
Yeah, honeymoon.
and then they went. Whoever wrote it went to the. It just doesn't give you enough reasons to want to play it when you could go play other games that are similar. That was what
is similar really to Hi-Fi Rush?
They like compared it to Devil May Cry. They compared the combat to Devil May Cry and all these other.
Devil May Cry is not a rhythm game though.
Right, but they were saying because the rhythm doesn't really matter.
You hack and slash in it. Oh, yes, that's bullshit. Yes, the rhythm matters, but you can't play it and still suck ass. right?
Right.
But the rhythm does matter. I know Pong. It's hard for you to get the rhythm, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, but it's a me thing. I don't take
Yeah,
away from the
that's
game.
fine.
I don't take away from the game because of it. The fuck no.
yeah,
of
but
course
why?
not.
Why would you take away from a game because there's other games that you could play instead of it that are similar? Like
Because Fuzzy, that's what we do now.
This sounds like
I
that-
said.
Is
Like
this
I
the
said,
same guy that wrote that article for Game Rant about Starfield?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. It's not. But Fuzzy, what I don't understand is the 69. Like, where did you come up with that? Like, you
Nice.
praising all this. You're talking about how it brings you back to the Dreamcast days, the gorgeous, and out of it you get a 69. Like I said, if you wanted to score it lower because personally you didn't like it as much towards the end, I can see 80, maybe even a 79 if you really want to hit it. But a 69 is almost a broken game at that point. I don't get
missing content,
Right.
bad launch, unable to log in.
Forspoken
Like,
got like a 65. That's the best game I played this year.
Right. And I don't agree with that either, Jasper. So again, that was part of the hate train. But whatever. Again, it is what it is. But I'm saying when everybody else is, I just don't get where the 69 came from. I just don't understand that.
you know what it is? It's the Xbox stigma. He docked it like at least 5 points because it's an Xbox game.
Like Metro did when they said that they couldn't give it credit because Xbox's first parties have been so sparse. Oh, okay.
Maybe this guy
Because they didn't have anything last year. We're gonna what? Get out of here. Just
Oh shit.
Maybe this guy's just like really addicted to the number 69 for some weird reason.
Maybe
you know,
maybe he just wanted to give a review of 69.
69. I gotta score something 69 this year. You know,
he's like, I don't want Tango to get any bonuses. Screw those guys. What?
Now, Steel off top. Well, not completely off topic, but side tangent. Steel hit me up today in the DMs and told me that there's people out in the community that are now trying to say that we need to have a different review score for AA games like Hi-Fi Rush, because you can't tell me that with a score of that 89 that it's better than Red Dead Redemption 2. So we need to score smaller games differently than we do AAA games. Yeah. Oh yeah.
How about the reviewer just has some damn common sense and just what's a good game is a good game and what's not?
They're trying to create classes, Fuzzy, within gaming. They're trying to create this elite class.
Let's start it. Hey, welcome to AA Magazine, everybody. Here our new magazine covering AA games, and we're gonna only review and talk about AA games. What is a AA game?
Yeah,
like good question. How do you actually like? Is there a certain dollar amount of investment that has to be? Is there a certain amount of developers?
Yep.
You know, does the game have to be a certain
But how do you
length?
judge the fun factor? So the AA game can't be as fun as a AAA game, is what you're saying, just on the basis that it's a smaller game.
That's as dumb as can be, because like me being a car enthusiast, right?
Right.
A Ferrari, a Porsche, those are different class cars than like your Honda Civic or your FRS, right?
Or my Evo.
But there's a fun factor. And then there's the equation of how much these freaking things cost in comparison and maintenance.
I think those people are missing the entire point of a review. You're not supposed to like compare it to other games. You're supposed to review the game that you're playing. So
exactly.
How often is the car of the year from like Motor Trend magazine or whatever like a fucking Ferrari? You know what I mean? It's like, it's usually like a Volkswagen Cross Sport or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like reviews go usually for what it is. Something that's always been missed. There's too many damn comparisons and reviews of the other games. There's too many people looking for only specific things that they were looking for in a game. And if it doesn't have that, they're automatically going to shit on it. People just need to fucking play these games for what they are and review them for what they are. Like, it's so weird, man. I don't understand it.
It's the only industry where you do reviews like that, where they have to look at like games from 10 years ago. Like when they review TVs, do you think they really compare them to TVs from 10 years ago? No, they compare them to the ones from the same freaking year with the same freaking options. It's like, I bought a washer from, last year, and I'm going to compare it to ones from 30 years ago. Guess what? Well, the ones from 30 years ago don't break down in 2 years. So, oh my God.
I know, it's infuriating. It's just crazy to me, like where we're at in all of this. Anyways, sorry, Mav.
No, it's all right. We got a $2 super
brain
chat
cells.
from.
Can you help me find them?
They're I don't know where they are, Fuzz. I'm sorry, man. Splendiferous hit us with a $2 super chat. Says, "Are we talking about video games or something else?" I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I guess I said sucking ass earlier, and the chat had some fun with that. It's not my fault if Pong sucks ass at rhythm games, is what I was saying.
Right.
Oh man.
Oh, so right on time. See, it's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Steel shows up
Steel,
in the chat.
shout out to Steel Rain. Says, if God of War is a 90, then Hi-Fi Rush cannot be an 89 with like 20 exclamation points there.
Right.
Cannot. It's impossible. How can this be?
For anybody who doesn't know, Steel,
one has a jump button.
Steel travels the dark alleyways of the community, and he goes and finds this stuff and hears this stuff. Like he goes places I won't go because I refuse to hear this nonsense, but he does.
Was this in a Twitter space?
I don't know for sure where it came from. I don't know if it was tweets or if it was a space, something he heard, but he put it in quotes when he DM'd me. So I know he heard it somewhere. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? And he's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yes.
So in that case, we should only compare narrative third-person action adventure story-based games to themselves.
This is real spaces, tweets, and podcasts, he says.
So in that case, if God of War won or 2018 was a 91 or whatever, then where does Ragnarok fall? I mean, like you only compare it. You can only compare it to its exact likeness.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no.
There's no common sense involved in any of these conversations. Again, they're trying to create elite class within the gaming community.
Right.
They're literally trying to do what they claim that they are not, but we all know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to move the goalposts so far that they create their own little space that we're elite gamers and all of you are peasants. We've seen this with Game Pass. We've seen this with everything.
I want to know what they're going to say when Hellblade 2 comes out and scores like a 95 or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? What will they be able to say?
It's a QT.
It has too many psychological elements to it. It can't be considered. It's too much like
it's psychosis
in this game to be compared to.
It's more like watching a movie instead of playing a game.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be scored the same.
Right.
What?
Well, no, but they really can't say that because their side has a lot of those games. So that's the premium experience.
They're more focused on TV shows now anyway. I mean, The Last of Us. I mean, come on. Let's be real. No, it's just ridiculousness. Like, I used to enjoy Twitter Spaces just for the comedy aspect, but it's like they're drinking their own Kool-Aid now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, Steel. Yes, Steel. He's bringing up all the other. You're not a gamer if you don't beat games. That's another one that they run with, of course.
You need a license.
And I need your gamer's license. Yes.
With the problem that I've had with Spaces on Twitter is it's become a place where the people that make the troll posts and the toxic, random, extreme opinions are just to argue with each other about how ridiculous their extreme opinions are. Right?
I don't like it because it shows that I'm in there and I like lurking.
They don't have jobs and they don't play games, so they sit on Spaces all day.
They play Twitter. That's a game.
They do. Yes, they do.
I used to want to try and do some Spaces here and there, but even me and Kate used to do one as like coffee talk.
I remember
Matt and Kate.
Yeah,
and we would just go around, just try to talk about whatever we wanted to. And we would talk about like life, going around, what we're doing right now, and it was fun. But then somebody would join and request to speak, and all of a sudden being like, "I don't know what the problem is with all these ponies." And sitting on it, and I'm like, where did this come from? We're just talking about coffee. We're talking about our breakfast order at McDonald's. And you're sitting here and you're talking about how shitty some game is or how Xbox never gets the respect they deserve. That's cool. I get you, but a little off topic with what we were discussing, right? And then it becomes 2 hours of not even being able to speak at all because it's just people arguing with each other about this stuff. That's
ponies. We're talking about ponies.
Yeah. All these damn ponies. All these damn ponies ruining my life, ruining my time. I can't even enjoy my Twitter no more because all these ponies everywhere.
Pegasus Nation, man. Pegasus Nation.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Sign that contract. Yeah. Something else, man. Something else. Anyways.
Yeah.
Show derailed.
Man, Xbox off to a great start this year, huh, guys?
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Age of Empires.
Oh, that's
20-year-old
right. The game was
so
in
that don't
development
count.
before the acquisition.
Age
That's
is
not
a
an Xbox
25-year-old
game.
game, and hi-fi sucks. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Folks.
Yeah, where's the PlayStation version?
Right.
You know they made one, right? And they canceled it.
Yeah. Even though now John Johannes has come out and said no. No. There was a PC version, and we had no platforms decided. Thanks when the acquisition happened. He's lying.
They had to have made
I like
a
how all the
PlayStation version
Xbox
at some point.
studios always have to come out after they announced his exclusive and be like, "Yeah, we're sorry, we're not making it for PlayStation, whatever." But like, no PlayStation devs ever have to come out and say
that. No. Again, it's always different. It's always different, Jasper. It's always different for Xbox. It's nuts. It's nuts. I've seen some of the clips of some of the Sony fanboys who were watching the developer direct.
Yeah, I think it was the one you shared last night, or Psycho. Someone shared it.
Yeah, somebody shared it. But I've seen multiple clips of them watching Hi-Fi Rush, and the hoops that they have to jump through, the backflips, the gymnastics, the mental gymnastics to try to convince themselves of why Hi-Fi Rush shouldn't be on Xbox or should not be looked at as a good game. As they were watching it, and you could tell that they were enjoying what they were watching, is absolutely insane to me over video games that somebody would take the mental energy to do this. Like, it's
I saw
crazy.
one where there's like the raking like logo in Hi-Fi Rush where you get like A, B, C, or whatever. Yeah. It's like, oh, they stole that from Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like that's in like 50 games, bro.
Right. Yep. What do you do when you don't have any good ideas? You copy other games. It was basically what they were saying.
Oh, it's cartoony graphics. It's another kid's game.
Yeah, this was like 20 years ago. This was a game that you'd see come out, but nowadays, no, we don't want to see this. What?
Who says?
What are you talking about?
Well, tell us Nintendo. Every fucking game they come out with is like looks like it was made 20 years ago, right?
Thank you.
I mean, I'm just
their tech is 20 years old, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's an iPhone 6s Plus inside that thing. You just guys aren't aware of it. It's just tricked into being a handheld. I don't know, man. I like the variety though, so far from Xbox. Like having the Hi-Fi Rush, completely something that was missing actually from Xbox games and first party. That's why I have to think one of the reasons it's valid and important. It is different. It's not like we get to play games like this every fucking day, and to have a game that's actually good and hit that, come out from a first party studio, a new original IP from a Japanese studio as well, like it checks a lot of boxes, you know what I mean? So that's a really good thing. And then age too, completely different experience, completely different type of gamer that is interested in that, so
yeah, but those are niche games. Where's the Halo Gears and Forza?
They're fucking coming, okay? Be patient, you damn pony. I know your favorite.
Is Halo coming?
I know you got 7,000 hours in the GT7 fuzz, but calm down. Yeah, no, I know you're kidding. But yeah, we all know those games are coming. I mean, we got Redfall this year. We got Starfield this year. We got Forza Motorsport this year. You're on mute, Pong. But it looks like what you're saying. I was
going to say Redfall. Redfall's already shit. So didn't you know?
That's right.
Oh, you got to be online.
Yeah. Redfall's dead on arrival. DOA, baby. It's got online all the time, man. Can't have that. We got to complain about that. So
what's y'all's review predictions for Redfall?
Because it's not going to be shadow dropped, it's going to be an 82 or lower. I think originally I said something like between a 77 and a 79, but I think because they can't get away with just review bombing games, it's going to be like a low 80s at best. Even if it's like a 90 plus level game, they'll say 82 or lower.
I'm in a mix.
Like Arcane though.
Yeah, that's where I'm like at a mix. I'm like, it's Arcane, so like reviewers like it, but at the same time, like there's a lot of negative sentiment going around with it right now. So it's like it's either gonna do really good or it's gonna be like a 65.
I'll say an 85. I'll say an 85. I think it can do an 85 plus. So I think it can hit it if they knock it out. Again, this is something they've never done before, an open world game like this. So maybe it won't work. Maybe Arcane, will come out and it won't be that game that everybody thought it was going to be. But I think if it is, I think 85 plus, because reviewers do like Arcane. They like their mechanics, and it looks like they've kept a lot of that in this game. The DNA that makes it an Arcane title. I think that they will pull that off, and I think reviewers will appreciate that. And I think they will. I think they'll have favorable scores for this. So.
That's assuming that it all launches well, like, because it's going to be
Yeah,
an online only game.
like I
so
said,
if it's
this
broken
is-
the first week, then
yeah, Arcane's doing something they've never done before. So, real quick too, before we jump around, Gene Park had a great post about Hi-Fi Rush, and we all know Gene Park. He's not he's a good dude. I don't mind Gene, but he wears his Nintendo heart on his sleeve, and he's made comments in the past about Xbox. But he actually came out and said, "Weird to see people jeer at Hi-Fi Rush for being a Game of the Year candidate, but it is, and I'm a Zelda mark. Even if I compared it to Breath of the Wild, Hi-Fi Rush stands as a huge achievement. Hi-Fi Rush is perfect until proven otherwise." That's genuine big praise from Gene Park for an Xbox title.
Yeah.
So it says a lot. So, and that's the way gamers should treat games. If it's good, it's good. It doesn't matter where it's at.
And that's why it's selling, is because it's good.
Right.
Not even just on Xbox.
Right.
Right. People can't say, "Oh, Xbox gamers just happy if it finally got something." Right. And that's the only reason it's doing good. But what about all the people that played it on Steam? Right. Do they not count? I don't understand. But yeah, I think Redfall, I think probably I'm going to say around 85.
Yep.
A new IP. I think, like, if it was only purely focused on the single player elements and it had this with Arcane, I would go up to probably like 89, 90. I think the multiplayer stuff, because like I'm with Jasper a little bit. It's their first time into this, and also like people look at some of those games kind of differently, and how is it going to affect their experience, what people are expecting out of the game and not, right? It could like lower some things down. It's just hard for a multiplayer game to like get that high up. Now, I understand this is purely played a single player. Maybe these reviewers mostly play it single player, and they just all like, "Oh my god, it's the best thing ever," and just treat the multiplayer as an add-on option, right? Who knows? But I would say like probably I'm gonna guess around 85, and I think that is fantastic. I'm not one of these people that says a game is a failure thus it scores a 90. It's like crazy talk to me.
You got like 15 games.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there's the day and age of those kind of scores for the most part are like long gone. I feel like too much stuff is nitpicked. There's too much like hive mentality with reviewers and stuff these days. The games that score exceptionally well are usually the same result, the hive mind mentality of like, "Hey, we're not allowed to criticize this. This is special." You know what I mean? And then the games that are like pretty good, sometimes like, "Well, this has all these issues and all this stuff, and that's all we're going to talk about," instead of all the great things in the games, So it's interesting to see, think about what that's going to be. I think Starfield's probably going to be about the same. I honestly, I think Starfield's something that's going to be overly criticized. Probably. I'm hoping people look at it for the ambition that's there and play a big factor with this. Cyberpunk scored like a 90 or something when it came out. Y'all remember? Like, it was like everybody gave it like, there's people that gave it like 10s.
9 out of 10s, all over the place.
Didn't IGN like give it like a 10 or some shit like that? And like, I can't remember. And then it ended up being like a broken mess on most platforms and stuff, and the whole big fallout from that. But I think the reviewers reviewed the copies that they were given, which was probably PC, right? And didn't get the chance to see all the other issues out there, right? I wonder how Starfield's going to play, because in this day and age, a little different now. People have less tolerance for bugs all of a sudden in games. We saw what happened with the Battlefield launch. Battlefield 2042 was a buggy, messed up game, right? That being said, again, I will stand on this hill. Every Battlefield game I've played was always a buggy, screwed up game at launch. And It took them, the main issues that they had with Battlefield 2042 at launch, they were all fixed within like 2 or 3 weeks. The hit detection issue was fixed within like 2 weeks, right? The map issues that some people had, that those were fixed within a couple weeks. That then there was missing features, those were like a month or two. You know what I mean? There was like, by 6 months later,
Scoreboard was 6 months plus later.
Yeah, no, 6 months later though, it had pretty much everything that was missing, which is, for me, it was kind of par for the course. But the interesting thing with Battlefield 2042 is all the things that it had that other Battlefield games never had.
Yeah.
Right. And that was never like in the equation for people. Right. It was more like, let's only focus on the things that are missing.
Because they didn't have a campaign.
Probably so. You're right. You're probably right on that. You know. And Battlefield's a good game now. It's a fantastic game. Just like its player base is diminished. Right. But do you think the tolerance of bugs and games launching with issues has changed to the point to where Starfield could face that hive mentality at launch, or do you think it's the Bethesda charm, the Todd Howard specialness will come out?
If it's a cyberpunk situation and some people are having broken game issues, then yes. If it's normal bugs for a Bethesda title, no. I think Bethesda is still one of the studios that gets forgiven if the rest of the game blows people away, right? I don't think it would be as, how do I want to say? I don't think that the reviewers would give it as favorable score as they did with Skyrim, let's say, on the PS3 version, which was a broken game at launch, and they still scored it like a 93, like ridiculous. I don't think that would happen again. I think it would be in the 80s if it came out today. But I think if Todd nails the impression out the gate of, oh my God, I'm playing something that I've never experienced before.
It's going to, that first time coming over the landscape or whatever you do, like that's going to be a major impact on
That's going to be a major impact moment. Right. If he nails all the normal marks that Bethesda titles nail with reviewers, then if it's got a normal level of Bethesda bugs in it, I don't think that they downscore it. I think that they still score it high. Like I said, if it's broken though, in any way, shape, or form, or somebody loses like 10 hours of gameplay because of save deletes or something stupid, then yeah, I think nowadays that'll be a harsher downgrade than anything else.
I think like it gets a 90 plus if it really captures that sense of wonder whenever you come over that first hill or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you can really capture that and like
or when you get into space for the first time.
It's like what's out there. If he can really capture that, it's 90 plus.
If you play this game and feel like I've never experienced this before, right?
Correct.
That's what those games have done before from them. What were you saying, Fuzz?
I think it's going to be a split, kind of like a split decision, because unfortunately, because it's now under the Xbox umbrella, it's going to get that extra scrutiny, and the bugs aren't going to be as tolerable in comparison. Like you'll see, like your IGNs will probably still give it its 9s and 10s, but you're going to have these smaller outlets that are going to nitpick to no end. Like, remember all the nonsense we heard about, the 1,000 procedurally generated planets, and people are going to be like, I was overwhelmed, and there's so many planets, but there's nothing on them. It's like, can you look in our solar system and see what's on the planets around here? It's like there really isn't much out there, but there's going to be noise and nonsense from a small group of reviewers, but some of the bigger outlets are going to see the game for what it is, as far as what it brings to the table in a sci-fi space exploration type game. So you'll have some that'll be 9s and 10s, and you'll have some that are going to be 6s and 7s for nonsense, basically. And it's going to wind up kind of settling somewhere in the
the good thing with that is
high 70s, low 80s.
Metacritic weighs each reviewer. So like IGN, they get like whatever their number is, it's their number. But like someone like a smaller reviewer that's just like a random website, they usually like take them into account. Like if they give it a 10 out of 10, it's like only 2 points to the review or whatever.
Mm.
And another thing, Fuzzy, is that if Todd holds course with how he's going to do this, the other thing is reviewers won't have a copy of the game weeks in advance. So if he holds course and he gives them a copy of the game a day before it goes live, those reviews aren't going to be ready. So everybody's going to be playing it a lot like Hi-Fi Rush. And if the player base is promoting, if the PC, again, people forget Bethesda's bread and butter is PC. It's not console. Yes, they have a big fan base on console as well, but PC is where they make their mark. That's where the whole modding community is, everything. If everybody is praising Starfield while these reviewers are reviewing, because it's going to take them a long time to have a fair review, obviously, with a game this size, then that could influence them as well. So if everybody's loving it in the gaming community, the reviewers might come back with high scores, knowing that they can't come in and all of a sudden go against the wave of positivity and be like, actually, guys, I'm going to be contrarian here, and I give this game like a 70 because Todd tried too much and failed again. 2,000 Planets sucks. I don't want to play this game. They're not going to do that.
I don't want to walk on these deserted ice balls.
Right.
What's the fun?
Yeah. It wasn't a PC Gamer that gave a bad review for Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah,
so I'm curious to see what their review score is going to be like.
Right, because Bethesda is a PC studio. I mean, that's where they made their mark. So it'll be interesting. But I think that might influence a little bit. So we'll see. Maybe Todd, maybe Phil says, no, Todd, you got to get this game in people's hands. Weeks prior, we want the reviews, we want the big push from all the major media, not just previews. We actually want reviews out there because we think you've done a great job. So maybe Todd goes against his MO and gives the game out early. But
I mean, it also just depends on the reviewer, because like there's some games where like there was one of the Pokemon games where someone said 6 out of 10, there's too much water, this game's trash.
Well,
like,
right. We've had those, but then we saw Pokemon Arceus or whatever come out broken, running terribly on the Switch, and still got high reviews. Right, so like I said, I think Bethesda still gets favorable reviews out of people. So we'll see.
I feel like you're right with the bugs thing, though. It's different. Like if it's like a game breaking waste your time bug or whatever, it's different than if like a traditional like Bethesda bug. You get like an NPC.
Bethesda bugs are funny, so it's like
well, exactly. You get like an NPC. It's like, hi, I'm
Wacky Wave Inflatable Arm too.
My name's John.
Or the death animations when they die and they do crazy shit when they die.
Right,
like, that's funny shit.
Hi, can we?
He's twitching.
Can we go to the space station?
Somebody's head turns
it'll be like Undisputed, where they go flying and it's like, doesn't this planet have gravity? Why are they floating?
Right.
I love those because you just sit there and you screen capture it and just fucking die. Right.
Yep.
Those are great. But the ones where you like play and you can't progress.
Correct.
Those suck. Yeah. Right. So hopefully not a lot of those. Right. And I that's maybe what they got the extra time for to make sure that there's none of those in the game.
Yeah, the quest bugs and that kind of stuff you don't want to have nowadays.
I guess
that prevents people.
I guess we'll find out in March when it launches, right, guys?
Yep, that's right. Marchers unite. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah,
we forgot to mention. I was going to mention it last night at PM and the PM, man, but I didn't, and I totally forgot. But for all the marchers out there, you cult fanatics like us, listen up. You can point to Star Wars Survivor moving as the word's gone out that March is the date. And they wanted nothing to do with it. So Zampella and his team were like, we're not going to have a repeat of Fallen Order. We're going to get out of the way and let Starfield do its thing in March. Just saying.
And interesting. That's adding more fuel to the fire there, Paul.
Yeah. Word's gone out.
Didn't they blame Halo for their poor Battlefield launch? Also?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Well, Fallen Order, I think a lot of people were just complaining because it came out in like November 29th or whatever it was that year, so it didn't get up for Game of the Year. Like, I think that was the major problem with that.
And it had problems in the beginning too. It got low reviews. It was like a 70 something, wasn't it? I think it was.
Oh, I don't know. I love the game.
I think originally it wasn't until people started playing it and they fixed some of the issues that they started catching steam, and then people were like, "No, this story is actually freaking amazing. This is a great Star Wars game." So, but yeah, I'm just saying. It only moves 6 weeks, folks.
Yeah, that is not a very big delay. It's not a very big pushback. 6 weeks. It's
almost like they should actually delay it just one more week so it's around May the 4th. But that's a whole nother story.
That's just a move of like we need to move for a reason.
Right.
Make sure those online servers are working for that single player game.
This game is only going to be good if we get 6 more weeks of work. Okay, 6 more weeks. That's all we need. Just please 6 weeks. You know, that's and people saying 4 months isn't enough, right?
Right.
Okay, I put those in perspective. Right, 4 months is how much Starfield is delayed if it launches in March. Actually, over 4 months if it's late March, which is what our guess was. Right.
Correct.
Then we're all saying, you know, April, May, June could be as well, but you know, we're staying firm on this March thing. To like, I'm gonna say I'm 60% March, I'm 20% June, and I'm 10% April, 10% May.
Okay, so you're still 100% within the 6 months.
Yes, I'm 100% within the 6 months, and I could be dead ass wrong, but I don't think I am.
I'm 40% March, 60% April.
Okay,
fair
enough.
99% March and
Wow.
1% 12/31 of this year. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, I like it. I like it.
Nice. I like those
If
odds.
they fucking do the fucking December 31st, it's going to be a riot. People are going to be like, "Is this game coming out?" And they don't announce
Oh my
it.
God.
Like,
We do need an announcement of the deep dive next week.
Yeah, I think that's when we're going to get
We
the
do.
announcement of the deep dive.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know.
I think they could do that at the Super Bowl. Show like 25 seconds of like new gameplay, and then the last 5 seconds be like tune in March 1st or whatever for a deep dive.
Jason says 4/4/23. Nick says 83% March. Blaze Ray Jenkins says 6/23/23.
Yep, which is an appropriate day because 2 times 3 equals 6 as well.
Yeah,
So you
that
can
would
play
that would
game
work.
to it.
John says September.
John, you've been listening to too many people.
Nick says 3/23/23. Shout out to CD Keys. All of us were way on this 3/23 before CD Keys came into play, right?
Yeah.
I've seen
Shout out to
people
Steel
say,
Rain,
I've
8
seen
months
people
ago.
say, "Oh, these guys are only saying that why because of the CD Keys thing." No, we were saying that for like months before the CD Keys.
Steel's got the clip ready 8 months ago. He said it.
Steel was the first one. And it's like 9 months.
He's got
at
the
this
clip
point.
on living split screen when he said it. So.
Honestly, the CD key things didn't change me anyway because it's a third-party website. They're not going to have the date, so it's like
But it's funny that they picked that date, Jasper. So either they've been listening to the community and they're playing along to get traffic to their site, because they don't. That's not a normal placeholder date for them. Normally they do the December thing when they don't know. So it is a little odd that they did it that way, but I could see why they would do it just to get people there too as well. So
Chris Jones says 100% March. Okay, 100%.
Well, Chris Jones was 100% that Square Enix is getting bought by Xbox.
That's true. He was. Shout out to Chris. He'll still say that's going to happen.
Yes, he will still say that's going to happen. Again, there's no reason why it can't happen yet.
20 years from now, we'll still be, hey, Chris, how's it going? Square's still going to get bought by Xbox. Let me tell you there, sonnies. It's going to happen. I got a feeling in my creaky bones.
Square forecloses and like they have no place anymore. It's like they're bringing Xbox, bringing them back.
Square Enix is going to happen, my guys. It is. I'm telling you what. We'll see.
I'm thinking they go gold on Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
What it's gonna be? I got a question for you guys. Okay, we got no like big actual Call of Duty release this year, right?
Right.
First time in a long time. There's no Battlefield. You know, there's like some games are exclusive that could have been multi-plat that were
expansion rumored for the late this year.
Here's my question. Without Call of Duty releasing this year, what's going to be the number one selling game this year?
FIFA.
There's no FIFA anymore, is there?
Well, I think this is the last year for FIFA.
This year is?
Right?
I don't know.
So. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Zelda and Jedi Survivor.
Zelda?
And then third will be Starfield.
Depending on when Spider-Man comes out. If Spider-Man comes out late or early fall, like it can have a long time to sell
Yeah,
this year.
if it comes out in November, I don't think it hits. But if it does come out in that time frame, I give you that one too.
Let's cancel the sports games because let's just like erase those. They're I'm like arguing against our own argument that all games can be considered within themselves. But just for the sake of this conversation, let's push the sports games out because you can say NBA, FIFA, Madden, they're all gonna sell like crazy, right? Like like they do every year. Call of Duty was the given every year that's gonna be like the number one seller usually. Elden Ring last year, I think, may have surpassed Call of Duty.
I think Call of Duty took it back.
Call of Duty took it back
overall. Yeah,
that's crazy, and in a short period of time as well, because like Elden Ring had all fucking year, right? Yeah. Call of Duty, but it was a big release. I mean, it's Modern Warfare 2, right? Correct. If this was like Vanguard year, I think Elden Ring would have held on. But
outside of sports games, I mean, it's got to be Zelda or Spider-Man 2.
I was listening to Xbox 2 a little bit earlier, and they were making a case a little bit of that Hogwarts Legacy is probably going to sell really well.
That too, it's the number one selling game on all systems right now. So
for pre-orders, what about Diablo? Too niche.
Yeah,
but it's not on everything. Big PC community with Diablo, right?
Yeah, no, it's going to sell a ton on PC, right? It's going to sell a ton. I don't know how.
I think it's 11 mil. It'll do like an 11 mil in comparison.
I think it will be interesting to see how long the sell is for Hogwarts. Like with so much shit coming out next couple months, like is that going to continue to pop off, or is it?
Resident Evil 4 is going to be big.
Yeah.
So that's going to be huge.
I agree that Zelda will probably be, because like I think like even though it's on one platform,
well, there's 150 million
Switches,
Switches.
You're going to buy Zelda, right?
Yeah, for the most, it's like that game you have to get, like for them. So I think that's why.
No PSVR game's going to get on the list.
No,
someone would have to buy like 17 copies by themselves.
If we all band together and buy 100 copies each of all, we'll get this on the charts. Man, I don't know.
Spider-Man and Jedi Survivor, just because of the IPs. I mean, people are going to probably buy them that aren't even going to play them just for the collector or collection to their either comic books or to their Star Wars collection. I mean, I can't imagine that being a lot of people that are going to be like that, but I think both of those still do.
I don't how
What's
well the
Fallen
Jedi
Order's lifetime sales.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know how well Fallen Order did. Like,
I mean, Starfield being Game Pass kind of hurts its potential to, you know what I mean? Like get those numbers right.
June 11th, 2021, Jedi Fallen Order had surpassed 20 million.
Wow.
But that was a whole year, right? Or
that's still 20 million for the first
June of 2021.
So okay, so that was 2 years.
Is it? Wait, I got a question. Is this one cross-gen or is it next-gen only?
I think it's next-gen.
Yeah, I think it's next-gen only.
If it's next-gen only, that has a big impact on how well it can sell, I think, because you still have more old consoles out there than new, I think, for the most part. It's about 50-50 maybe for actual player bases. And like we saw in the God of War numbers, like God of War had like 11 million total sold, I think, and like almost half, I think, was on PS4. Right?
Yeah.
So
Hogwarts Legacy, if it gets the reviews and it gets the hype, if it lives up, that definitely could. I mean, Jez and Rand could definitely be correct about that.
Yeah. I don't know if they said it's going to be the number one selling game. They were just talking about it's going to sell really well. Right. And I get the reasoning why, because when's the last big good Harry Potter game that's come out?
Never.
Right?
Yeah. Lego Harry Potter.
I understand the controversy that there is behind the brand or whatever, but like, that's not going to.
It's actually increasing sales.
That's going to impact like maybe a few people from buying the game, like in the grand scheme of things.
More people are now buying the game because of that backlash.
Probably,
it actually has a reverse, or it's crossed each other out. It's canceled each other. So
I'm thinking like this game is that next gen only, or
Yeah.
is that
It's
cross-gen?
everything.
No, April. It gets.
It's even on the Switch.
It's on.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on the Switch, right? So
Yeah, come April will be.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like with everything, the Switch, and all that stuff, it has a chance to be there. Any Xbox. The one thing about Game Pass is like they don't use that as a metric, because like the subscription services is like where their majority of the player base is at this point, right? So it's like, but it's still gonna sell. Starfield and these games like that are gonna sell well on Steam and all these other things. So they're still gonna be in the millions, multi-millions, right? But the number of users of the game, I feel like for Starfield and some of these games are going to be pretty big. Like Forza Horizon, remember it took them almost like no time to hit 20 million users on Forza Horizon, which is crazy. That's a fucking racing game.
Right.
20 million within it was like a couple weeks, I think, at least. If you put that
the
in
most accessible racing game, though. So.
Yeah, it is for sure. I don't think Forza Motorsport's going to surpass those numbers because of what Horizon is. But it shows the power of Game Pass and people, because everybody that was playing it is paying for access to it one way or another. Right? Yeah. It's not like they're just like getting it for fucking free, so it matters, that for the amount of people that are playing the game. Do y'all feel like...
I think Starfield hits 20 million users within 2 months, hands down.
Ooh wee.
Oh, you think about it though, Pong. Like Steam is going to be a massive game on Steam, right?
It's going to be massive if it hits. I'm trying to think, how long did it take Skyrim? We're in a different. Just trying to.
It's also you're limited enough. It's not on PlayStation, so you got to count.
It's not on PlayStation 2, which is another big part of it.
And depending on PC specs, maybe people.
Yeah.
I mean, Forza Horizon's not on PlayStation, so
right.
I think Starfield has a bigger draw. Maybe not initially because Horizon's like that known quantity, but Starfield being the biggest IP in a very long time for Xbox, it's going to hit the 20 million within a short period of time. Now, as far as overall sales, I think it does 10 to 11 mil within the first 6 months. Maybe within the first, definitely within the first year, but the sales aspect, I think, depends kind of on if they do like what Forza did with the deluxe copy and maybe early access or additional content, additional suits or something like that, or a special spaceship or something. If they do that, then you're going to see the sale of that deluxe upgrade, and then the Steam copies, and then the people that are going to buy it, even if they already have Game Pass, is going to hit that 10 million mark within the first year, if not within the first 6 months.
You do have Minecraft coming out. It's not a mainline Minecraft.
Skyrim peaked all time on Steam at 40,000 concurrent players.
That was a long time ago too.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and everything's changed. I understand that. I'm trying to base it also, though, Jasper, that it is a sci-fi game, and not everybody's in the sci-fi as well, right? Just like high fantasy, there's not everybody's in high fantasy. So I wonder if that balances out, or if people look at it and think it's too big and don't jump into it. But with it being in Game Pass, again, it's no risk. So I definitely. That's a big, bold claim, Fuzzy. I'd love to see it. If it hits 20 million in two months, that's going to be a huge deal.
I almost feel like, though, like Starfield to Xbox will be like Zelda for Switch.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like if you own an Xbox or you have a Game Pass subscription, you're going to have to try Starfield. Right?
Fallout 4 all-time peak on Steam was 471,000.
Jesus. Jesus. I should have looked at Fallout 4. I didn't even think about it. I just looked at Skyrim.
That's pretty good peak.
That's a pretty good peak for that type of game. Hell yeah.
Single player game.
Yeah.
And that's
17,000 people playing it 18 minutes ago.
Jesus Christ.
That more people playing it right now.
3 times what's playing Halo Infinite right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Probably so. Do you see how many are playing on Halo Infinite on Steam right now?
Yeah,
Jasper? People say that
5,000.
People don't play at these Bethesda single player RPGs, right?
Yeah, that's not true.
6,000.
6,000.
So over twice as many people on Steam playing Fallout 4 than
Skyrim's got 2,500 right now.
Yeah. What about but there's no way to look up the Xbox numbers.
No.
For either of those.
No, but But what, 2 weeks ago or last week, when somebody looked, because you can see the most played games and they've got them in ranking, Halo Infinite was 20 and Skyrim was 21. So
Wow. Great. Fantastic. And we wonder why the team was laid off. A fucking like 10-year-old game. So you talk about 10-year plan.
Yeah,
Skyrim.
Skyrim with modding was basically a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
It's basically a games as a service. Again, Starfield, if it hits, is a whole different level because of what the modding community is going to be able to do with it. Like, it's going to be, again, Star Wars, Star Trek. You go down the list of all the best sci-fi stuff of what people are going to be able to put in that game. It's going to be stupid. It's gonna carry on forever.
Yeah, Starfield, it will be. I am going to stand behind it. It'll be like that Zelda experience. Everybody that's got a Game Pass subscription is going to try it. It'll be playable in the cloud probably as well, and they'll have a PC. They'll have it on Xbox.
What if they'll have touch controls for it?
That would be nuts, man. So did y'all see Jez posted that the Age 2 has touch controls?
Yes, it does.
It's crazy.
Like, again, as not a phone player, I can't even imagine because I hate touch controls so bad.
Yeah.
Is it like, does it like make the AXB like pop up on the screen, or do you like touch the icon?
No, you touch the units and stuff that you want to move, and you touch the on screen like for buildings and stuff that you want to make. He said like there was a couple things that were he would like them to add, like a pinch and zoom feature and like a double tap. But he said like they're very intuitive. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, there was a Age of Empires mobile game that's kind of like that, so I can kind of see that.
All right, so let's play this game. What about Redfall? How many users on Redfall? How many sales?
Sales? 3 million
5?
by the end of the year.
You think it can hit 5?
I think it's going to be like between 4 and 5. I think users that we see within the first couple of months will probably be somewhere around like 6 million. But actual sales, I think, will be like 3 or 4 mil between like PC and Xbox itself.
Right on. I mean, the reason I'm asking is because like arcade games have always been so niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this one has you're on mute, Pong.
More people will touch this game than any other arcane game. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
that's going to be the power of Game Pass for Arcane, a studio like that. More people will download it because it's just in Game Pass and try it with their friends because it's co-op. They will have more eyes on this game than they've ever had on any of their other games at one time. Guaranteed. Right. Yeah, that's instantaneous. That they even talked about that was nerve-wracking to them because they're not used to that.
So do you think they'll hit 10 million players?
Mm-hmm.
Unique players?
Yeah. That's pretty big for an arcane game.
Yes.
Right?
It's potential. It's a lot of potential for that studio. If they can hit it, it could be gigantic.
That really how many what's the peak on Hi-Fi Rush on Steam, Jasper?
Like I think it's like 6,000.
Yeah, 6,000.
6,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, 417 on Fallout 4?
Yeah.
God, man. That is crazy.
People forget.
And that's when Bethesda had their own store and they were trying to get people over to the Bethesda store.
Yeah,
too, so
I remember that.
Man, we've talked about this. People forget how big Bethesda games are, man, when they come out.
Yeah,
like, people just don't understand.
That's one thing with the conversations about Starfield when people talk about Fallout 76 and stuff. And it's like, just don't they just don't understand. It's like the short-term memory effect really comes into play when people start talking about Bethesda, right? As how legitimate the studio is and all that kind of stuff. It's like they haven't had it. They can't make games anymore. They used to be good back in the day. Well, they haven't made one of their big mainline titles since Fallout 4. Yep. Right? Like that they've been working on Starfield since Fallout 4. Yep. Right? And we see how big of a success Fallout 4 was. Mm-hmm. You can't look at Fallout 76 and compare it to what Starfield is. It's a completely different type of game. Is it an open world type experience? Yes. Fallout 76 didn't even have any fucking NPCs in it when it launched.
Yeah.
And the bots that you fought were all T-posed, just frozen around the fucking
Yeah.
Fallout 76 peaked like their first month at 15,000 and then dipped all the way down to 4,000 at one point, and now they're back. Right now there's 8,800 people playing Fallout 76.
Yeah, it's had a resurgence. It's not bad now.
No,
like
it's actually a good Fallout experience.
They've added a lot to it, right? As they should have, to stand behind people that bought the game, right? Which I'm glad they were committed to doing that, and it's a good experience now. You can have fun with it. It's still, to me, not what you'd look for if you're looking for that Todd Howard single player RPG experience, though. You know what I mean? And that was never going to be what Fallout 76 was, right? This was a try and get into that live service element type thing from Bethesda. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you can't just like discount what the main studio does.
I will say for like Fallout 76 like though, like that's the first game that I had a bunch of friends like hop into Fallout universe within, and like it was such a bad experience. Like they're never touching Fallout and stuff again. So it's like it's put a stank on a lot of people.
Yeah, because they don't probably know. You know what I mean? Like that is true, and that's why you see people can make these comparisons, because they just assume, oh, this is the next Fallout game, right? Or this is that, or this is that. You know. And they don't understand like who's actually making the game, right? Who is behind this game?
Correct.
There's
still a huge
what kind of game it is compared to the other kind of games that they make, and all these different factors that play into this.
Like learn their lesson from Fallout 4 as well.
Yeah,
Fallout 4 they destroyed with going away from the RPGs, and what did they focus on with Starfield? They said we're going back to the classic RPG. Aspects that we used to have. Again, they learn their lessons. That's
I feel like
make a big difference.
Starfield will be that return to glory for them, where people really understand. Oh shit, we forgot. I apologize for the slander over the last several years. I forgot who you was. I understand again. My bad. I'm gonna stand back and let you do your thing, God Howard. Right? And I really hope that's what happens here.
My God, ESO when it first launched had like 1,000 people, under 1,000 people back in 2014, and right now there's 18,700 people playing.
18,000 playing ESO right now.
Right.
That's
I think it's because
Halo Infinite.
I think ESO launched exclusively in the Bethesda store at that time.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember if it did or not. I mean, it had dropped down, but even like 2016, it was like 1,800 concurrent players at one point, 1,500 in 2016, and now it's at 18,000 right now. That's how big ESO has come back to. Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's interesting.
The big thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Fuzz.
Go ahead, Fuzz.
No, I was going to say, I think the big thing that's going to be talked about when Starfield hits is you're going to have the debate going back and forth. Which is the better sci-fi RPG? Is it Mass Effect or is it Starfield?
Correct.
I think that's going to be the biggest discussion. After people have already taken pictures on various settlements that they've built on moons and other planets they've traveled to, and they've completed the story, or they're good, 200 hours in.
I tell you what, if there's a fucking Minuteman, I'm not signing up for them motherfuckers again.
No, but I think that's going to be the bigger debate is Mass Effect as a trilogy the better story, or is Starfield, the better story?
Yep.
Oh, I love Kate's new emoji. Episode. That's an inside joke with Jasper. Absolutely love it.
Oh, that thing. You guys explain that.
I'm trying to tell like exactly what's on it.
I know the emojis have to be so damn small.
Yeah, I know.
I can't see what the Starfield one says.
Marchers.
Oh, yes. Love it.
Yes.
Does that say marchers?
Way to go, Kate. Yes. Way to go.
Way to go. Hey, if you're a marcher, use your fucking marcher emoji here. Yeah, we'll stand behind it. We got a stamp here. Everything. Marchers unite. Reverend Pong says march. Actually, Jasper says march. Let's see. Sus 3-bit says march. Even Keely's on the march train. Let's go. Oh, what? and she got rid of the Keely emoji. Shit, I can't use it. Love it, babe. Thank you. Marchers Unite. Amazing. All right. So, well, guys, fun conversations. And was there anything else big time important that I missed?
No, I mean, no.
We let you go so we can get your H2 game in.
I want to get one game in tonight.
Let's go. All right, everybody. You guys rock. Thanks for tuning in tonight on episode 124 of Xbox Ultimate Podcast. I've been seeing lots of awesome people in the chat. You guys are amazing always for the support. Thank you so much. Appreciate you for being here. And let's let everybody know where they can find this awesome panel and what we got going on this week. Fuzz, go ahead and list every day of the week and what you got going on.
It was awesome being on here with you guys, and thanks to everybody in the chat. If you want to hear any of my endless rambles or see any of my game clips, just follow me on Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also catch me on the Shop Podcast tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right on PTK Blam's channel with Pong and PTK Blam. Monday, you can find me on Xbox Lunch Break Special, 12 noon on Double Barrel Gaming with Mr. Boomstick. Once again, that's 12 noon on Double Barrel Gaming. And then FSP later that evening, 10 p.m. right here on this channel on Fun Speculation Network. And then you can catch me on Breakfast with Boom Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on Double Barrel Gaming. And then right back here on Xbox Ultimate with the family at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See y'all next Friday.
Appreciate it, Fuzz.
If you ever go and make this a business, Mav, you do have to include network just because. That's that's got to be the parent company. It's got to be the Fun Speculation
Network and all of its subsidiaries. You know, we'll have all of its subsidiaries out there. We'll branch out and start making investments here and there. You know what I mean? Fun Speculation Network acquires the rights to Living Split Screen for $1 billion. Fun Speculation Network acquires. Yeah, it'd be amazing. Yeah. We can all dream, right? We'll start a Patreon for the Fun Speculation Network to get it off on the ground floor, right? Jasper, what you got going on, bro?
Yo, check it out. Lord Jasper Twitter, Lord Master Jasper YouTube. Monday night, FSP, 10 o'clock, Fuzzy, Psycho, maybe 3-Bit will join us this week. He's been gone for like a month and a half or two, so maybe he'll come back. Who knows? Then it's right back here Friday night, 10 o'clock. We skipped last week, but we're back this week 30 minutes late. So check that out. Friday nights, Xbox Ultimate.
Right on, bro. Appreciate it. Jasper, maybe you'll start making content again one of these days.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Maybe you will. You just keep you just keep watching episode 3 on demand.
Yeah, it's just so good.
Yeah. We're talking about Halo, everybody, just so you know. The Halo show. Pong Soul.
Yes.
Where can everybody find you?
How pissed are we going to be if we find out 3-Bit's been working on Starfield this whole fucking time? How pissed are we going to be that
he has been very suspicious lately. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You've seen the green screen? You saw the green screen post, right, on Twitter?
Yeah. I think it was just like a commercial or something, though, right?
Sure, maybe. Or what if he's taping for some freaking behind the scenes for the Starcase showcase?
You think they're going to interview him?
Yeah, right. Maybe he's been doing something like major with Starfield. We didn't know because he's playing. Oh, I've been working on Fable, and I did a little something for the developer direct, and this whole time that motherfucker has been working on Starfield. I'm gonna be so.
Probably the 3-Bit. We're gonna see him during like the deep dive. Hi, I'm Mario from the Fun Speculation Network, and
it's like one of those videos where they like to highlight their artists or whatever. It's like, this was a new artist we just hired this year, and look at how far he's gone.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna be pissed. Wow. Anyways, thank you all, brothers. Great night. Obviously, Friday night. This is a great way to end the week here. So great time with you guys. Great discussions tonight. Chat, you're all amazing as always. So I can't see your faces, but you all look beautiful anyways. So thank you all for being here. And then, of course, you know what the drill is. Tomorrow morning, get up early. Rise and shine with Steel and Pong tomorrow morning on Living Split Screen, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, where we're going to cover all the topics because we got to let Steel get his bars off because he doesn't do as many shows as we do. So it's always interesting to get Steel's take on a lot of this stuff, and we're going to be talking a lot of different things tomorrow as well. There was some Mech Warrior information that came out, which I'm sure Steele and I will cover because we are excited for Mech Warrior 6. So this is going to be fun. Tomorrow morning, be there, living split screen, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. And then, of course, tomorrow night, it's the Shop Podcast over on PTK Blam's channel, along with Fuzzy. I will be there. Fuzzy, we don't have a guest this week yet, do we?
No, nothing. I know.
Okay. So it is going to be the Shop Podcast Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time, like Fuzzy said. Be there. It's the best place to end your Saturday night. We're going to have great conversations tomorrow night as well. And then, of course, it all starts next week again. Xbox Factor every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Double Barrel Gaming, Mr. Boomstick, all good things green. Every Tuesday afternoon, be there. And then, of course, Thursday, it's PM in the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM. If you didn't catch last night's episode, go check it out. Mav and I had some good conversations, even though Mav was dying every 2 minutes of coughing. He got
I tried
through
to
and
mute as much as possible.
I know. You were doing a great job, but man, I felt bad for asking you to talk so much. I'm like, dude, I got to hear your thoughts on it. I knew when we got to the Halo topic, it was going to be bad because I knew you were.
Yeah, I wanted to talk, but I kept having to stop in the middle of talking. But yeah, I didn't have a lot to say about that.
No, that's okay. Anyway, we got through it. You definitely powered through that show. So no, we had a great time last night. Otherwise, everybody, it's the golden age of gaming. No matter what happens, Marchers unite. We're going to keep the hope alive, the dreams alive. No matter what happens, though, it is the golden age of gaming. And we got tons of stuff to play, including Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, which is freaking amazing. So get out there, enjoy your weekend, play what you love what you play. And I'm going to talk to you in less than, about 10 hours from now. So I'll see you then.
Peace out, everybody. Thanks again for watching. And what had happened?
His Pong soul sign fell off.
Oh no! You didn't break your Pong sign, did you? Is it broken? No. Okay, that's good. All right. I'm so happy.
There, I'm back. I disconnected my mic and everything. Okay. Everything fell down.
All right. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Thanks again for watching. You all rock. Peace out.
Later.
Hey.
Later.